Okay, I have a lot of spicy hot takes, but if you clicked on this video, there's probably one that will piss you off more than any of the others. Here's my hot take. Your music literally can't reach its full potential if you're a self-producing artist. A little spicy, I know, huh? I say that though as a self-producing artist, but before you get all mean in my comments and start calling me names, let me tell you why I think that is, but also let me show you how to fix it. Because I really believe that there is a world where your music does reach its full potential and it's also produced by you. Okay, so I'm not just being funny with wordplay here, okay? Your music reaching its full potential is directly dependent on how you approach the creation process as an artist and then as a producer. Because where I see self-producing artists get stuck on the road to fully realizing their music is they jumble together every single part of the creative process. Now, hearing that, you might be saying, well, like, why does it matter? Shouldn't I be able to create however I want? And the answer is absolutely yes. Like, create and flow how you feel good. This is art we're talking about. I'm not here to lay down a bunch of strict regulations on you. What I'm telling you is that you should have some definition in your mind when you're stepping from one phase to the next, and you should know what those phases are, and that you should check your intention at every step along the way. So 12 years ago, I got into producing to produce myself, but then I got distracted for the past 4 years, almost exclusively producing for other artists. And then when I came back to produce myself, this crazy thing happened where I wasn't getting stuck and I wasn't getting bogged down, and I was actually finishing the things I set out to do, and I was nailing the vision like almost every time, and it just felt incredible. And so what I did is I was like, okay, something has happened in the last like 4 years between when I was only producing myself and then I started working with a bunch of artists. Something has happened and I have to reverse engineer this thing and figure out what the hell went on to make it so that all of a sudden I have this ability to produce at this level that I never thought I could for my own music. And I have this ability to pull what's in my head out of my head and make it a reality. So when I did that process of like working backwards, here's what I came up with. Intention is everything. If I, as a producer working with an artist in a producer-artist scenario, bust through the wall and just start laying down a bunch of sounds, it's probably not going to come together in any way that is cohesive or makes sense for that artist. In the same way, if at any point in the process we get stuck and we don't have a map with the destination of where we were heading in the first place, are we really stuck? How do we know? Do you see what I'm getting at here? Like, as self-producers, we are that producer I described in the beginning who busts in the door and just starts laying stuff down. We create a vibe based off excitement or a feeling or a moment, and then we wonder why we feel stuck halfway, or why we don't have gas to finish, or why it doesn't feel cohesive or like we nailed a vision because we didn't have one. We have this really messy process where we not once have to communicate with our artist about where the production is going. How you stop self-producing and start producing yourself, how your music can start actually reaching its full potential, is set an intention and execute on that intention. Create a map of the vision and where you want to go, so that instead of just pulling instruments and parts out of the void and smacking them down and hoping that they stick and then wondering why it's turning into a mess, you instead thoughtfully place or intuitively place parts and instruments that push and elevate the song forward towards that destination. So this is a lot of like out here I'm talking about, right? I want to put this practically so that you can go to your music and actually execute this and see how this feels. You need to start having a pre-production process. But don't worry, this doesn't have to be rigid. Let me show you what I mean. You can still go hyper-focus and go crazy and lay something out that gets you excited. But when you feel it forming into something, and you know the moment that I'm talking about, it goes from being just sounds that are cool to like, oh, I have this idea, this could be the song. When you start to feel that, you can go a little bit further and then stop, back up. Look at the thing you're making objectively and with a healthy critical lens and ask yourself 3 things. What do I want to feel when listening to this song? What do I want other people to feel when listening to this song? And what are some sonic touch points for what I'm trying to make? What those questions are doing is setting intention for where you want to go. It also helps you collect vision for when you inevitably have to put the song aside and go do something else, you can actually come back and finish it. You can reference your answers to those questions. You can listen to that playlist that you put together and it'll spark the same train of thought that you had going into the thing. You're creating a neural touch point for yourself, a bookmark for the inspiration that you had in the first place. You've created intention touch points, if you would. Okay, so once you have the makings of something that is lining up with that intention that you set, it's a little more formed at this point. Maybe you have a verse and a chorus or that kind of a vibe coming together that you can see, okay, where it's going. Back up. Ask yourself 2 more questions on top of the questions that you already asked yourself. Ask yourself, what is the narrative of this song and where does this song take place? Okay, so I want to show you something really quick. Check this out.
I just wanted there to be this kind of constant motion and
Absolutely. I think what creates that motion too is this idea of 3 against 4. That clave, it's in 3/4, and then the rest of the band's in 4/4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I think that tension, it kind of adds to the swirl of your mind too.
Yeah, well, the song is about feeling crazy, and it's about having feeling vertigo. So we wanted to create this sense of instability throughout the whole song, throughout the whole album, honestly.
Absolutely,
but
yes.
especially in this song. So 3 against 4 is one of the best ways to you're never really settled in either rhythm.
It's a little disorienting.
It's very disorienting.
That was a video of artist Leve and producer Spencer Stewart breaking down her song Lover Girl. They had these 2 things locked down. So locked down, in fact, that they mentioned them so offhandedly you might have missed it. They said the song takes place in her mind and that the narrative of the song is feeling crazy, more specifically, feeling crazy for being in love. So once you've defined what's the narrative and where does it take place, you add elements and parts that fit the place, that fit the setting, and push the narrative further. Let me show you what I mean. Let's say, for instance, I'm writing a song where the narrative is about being with all my friends on a warm summer night. And where this narrative is taking place is, let's say, on my back porch around a bonfire. Do you see how that visual comes to mind? In order to execute on this intention, I'm gonna probably stick to more organic feeling sounds that would match that place, right? Think acoustic guitar, piano, bass, probably staying away from synths and pads and very ethereal feeling things. And I'm gonna play those sounds in such a way that uplifts the feeling of being on the back porch around a fire with my friends on a warm summer night. And it's however that feels to me, right? That's what's so cool about this, and that's where this gets so creative, is that feels different to everybody. You have a vision when I say that. It means something to you, and it probably sounds like something to you as well. So here's to me what that would sound like.
Thinking of ways to remember 100 degrees in September. All of the nights in the last we shared.
Another prompt we could give ourselves is the narrative of feeling more alone than you ever had before, even when there's tons of people around you, right? And maybe where that takes place, the setting that narrative takes place in, is a city that you just moved to, right? And you're driving at night in your car. Here's how that would sound to me.
Cause they hate me, then they love me. When the city never sleeps, I can't sleep and it's cold. So many eyes from the outside, living outside, tell me where's home.
One of the main things we suffer from as self-producing artists is too many options. If you can define your intention like this, it opens up a world of possibilities because it narrows your focus to see exactly what should be in front of you. And to stress again, like I did earlier, this doesn't have to be something where you shut down your gut feelings and go into like this really regimented, steady, uncreative slog fest of a process. Always follow your gut feelings and see where those take you. But this is something to bring in the room when that manic creative surge slows down a little bit. When that happens, back up. Assess yourself based on all these factors we've been talking about. Look at all your elements. See what is serving the song, maybe what's distracting from the song. Intention is what separates good production from great production. It's what separates songs that feel like a vibe versus songs that create a world in your head and stick with you. If you nail intention, the rest is, dare I say, easy, dare I say, sometimes almost formulaic, because you just know what to do next to achieve a feeling that you're going for. You learn that certain parts and certain instruments and certain frequencies make you feel a certain way the more you do this. So please try this and come back to this video and comment and let me know how it went for you. So anyway, I hope this is helpful. If you're anything like me, it will probably change your life as a self-producing artist. It will help you stop self-producing and start producing yourself. Start making that differentiation of when you're being the artist and when you're the producer. And that will help you just absolutely nail your vision so much more consistently. And it is such a good feeling. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. This is a super valuable platform to me as somebody who wants to spread this kind of knowledge. So check out some of the other videos here on the channel. If you're a self-producing artist, this channel is pretty much made for you because everything I do comes from the place of being a self-producing artist myself. Have a great rest of your day and keep working to understand the music you're making, because when you understand your music, you make better music.